Chapter 4. The Rescue Mission Begins. Act 2. Chapter 4 to 1. Halfway there. Clouds surrounded the ship in the heart of the ruined city, enveloping it in darkness. Jungle descended through the storm, wings slicing the rain as he landed before the massive metallic doors. In his grasp remained the bag containing the stone of the southern hemisphere. Thunder cracked overhead as the doors rumbled open, welcoming him into the shadows within. Inside, Draken, head of the Alliance of Darkness, stood waiting. Jungle shook the rain from his body. Ah, so this is the elemental stone. The shadow truly proved useful in guiding you to it. You've done well, Jungle, Draken said, surprise flickering in his tone. Jungle tossed the bag forward. Draken dug into it and pulled out the stone, turning it slowly in his hand, inspecting every angle. His eyes gleamed with sinister delight. Shadow knows the other stone's location as well. We're one step closer to our goal, Jungle said. Draken's lips curled into a smile. Yes, indeed. So tell me, Jungle pressed, once we acquire both stones, how do you activate them? Draken turned back to the stone. By finding the Harpoonian entity that lies dormant in a human host, its powers can fuse them to life through music. Jungle frowned. Where is this being? Draken placed the stone onto a black pedestal hidden in the wall, then turned away. The Harpoonian hides among the humans, somewhere on this planet. One stone alone is useless. To unlock their power, we must retrieve the other immediately. Then let's waste no more time, Jungle said without hesitation. At that moment, Jason entered the chamber, stepping beside Jungle. A black aura clung to him like smoke. The rage of his wife's death still burned in his heart, a wound only the Alliance promised to heal. If Draken achieved godlike power through the stones, Jason would finally see her again. To play this game, to walk the path of darkness, was his only chance at redemption. I can practically taste the power of the gods, Draken said, his voice dripping with hunger. Jungle glanced at Jason. You heard him. Let's head out, boy. Jason's eyes narrowed on Draken. Don't forget what you promised. Draken's grin widens, his voice dripping with dark amusement. Of course, you'll have what your heart desires once I possess the power I seek. He turned slightly, eyes glinting with command. Now, go. Test the power I've given you. Jungle nodded. His wings unfurled, great black blades of flesh and bone, before he launched into the storm. Jason moved to follow, but Draken's voice stopped him. Once the stone is acquired, Draken said, a cruel grin splitting his face, you know what to do. Jason gave a single nod before stepping into the rain, his aura flaring as he followed Jungle into the night. Chapter 4 to 2. Surprise. Back in the mystical village of illusions, the morning sun cut through the sky, its light spilling across the huts and winding paths. Sabrina sat atop one of the long dining tables, her gaze lost in the clear blue above. Thoughts weighed heavy on her mind, though the villagers bustled around her as if the horrors of the night before had never happened. Sue emerged from a nearby hut and eased herself beside her sister. Closing her eyes briefly, she said, I can only imagine what's running through your mind right now. Sabrina turned, her eyes shadowed with concern. 20 years of terror, and it all comes down to today, she said, the weight of it hanging between them. Sue studied her sister's face and forced a small smile. And the glory will be ours, she said, trying to lift her spirits before turning her own gaze to the sky. Robert approached from behind, leaning his elbow casually on Sabrina's shoulder. Today's the big day, he said. Sabrina smiled faintly. I'm ready. The light struck her just right, and for a moment, Robert marveled at her beauty. You should do that more often, he said. She frowned. Do what? Smile. You're incredible when you do. Sabrina smirked, recognizing his attempt to charm her. She couldn't allow herself the luxury of closeness, not when anyone near her was at risk. Before Robert could press further, the world tore apart with a thunderous explosion. Sabrina was on her feet in an instant, sword drawn, while Sue and Robert staggered in panic. What was that? Sue shouted. The ground shuddered violently, throwing villagers to their knees. Screams erupted as a monstrous roar ripped through the air. This can't be good. Sabrina's instincts took over. She sprinted toward the sound, her movements a blur of speed and precision. When she reached the front of the village, her eyes widened at the carnage. Jungle stood amidst a field of lifeless bodies, blood staining the soil. Beside him, Jason waited in silence. Rage burned through Sabrina. So you're the one behind all this destruction, she shouted. Jungle's mouth twisted into a sinister smile. Her eyes flicked to the man at his side. Wait, I know you. The others arrived, and Robert froze at the sight. So you really did join the Alliance, Ace shouted. The stench of death hit them. Sue collapsed to her knees, tears streaming as she whispered, My people. Even Jason looked uneasy at the massacre. The mystic elder's face drained of color. Jungle, however, folded his arms and watched their grief with satisfaction. Shadow, fetch the stone while I deal with these pests. Draken will be pleased, Jungle commanded. Jason gave a slow nod. Ace pointed fury, lacing his words. I know this purple unicorn isn't threatening us. I'd love to see you try, Jungle sneered. Well, let me show you what this purple unicorn can do. Sue stepped forward, her staff trembling in her hands. What stone are you talking about? There's no stone here. The mystic elder dropped his gaze to the ground, saying nothing. Jungle's claws extended as he advanced on Sue. He glances at the elder. That robe, you're the human who escaped. A mistake I should have erased long ago, and one I'll correct right now. Sabrina slid into her stance, blade poised. Robert edged closer to Jason, desperate. What has the Alliance done to you? Jason's eyes hardened. I'm sorry, Robert, but I have to do this. Look around you, Ace shouts. Do you think your wife would ever approve of this bloodshed? Jason's aura flares, black energy crackling violently as he snarls. You promised to protect us, to be there for us, he roars. And yet she died. You weren't there. His hand shot up, psychic force wrapping around Robert and lifting him off the ground. Robert's body strained under the crushing grip. Hurting others won't bring her back, Robert forced out, his voice breaking. Jason's fury twists his features. He grabs Robert and hurls him down with brutal force, slamming him into the dirt beside Ace. She was pregnant. The words hit Ace and Robert like a physical blow. I was going to be a father, Jason snarls, voice ragged. Now she's gone. My wife and our child were torn from me as if they meant nothing. To you, to your army, everyone is expendable. He leans in, eyes burning. I don't care what happens to anyone else. Draken is the only one who can give them back to me. Robert struggled back to his feet. Jason, I'm sorry. Jason's voice shook with fury. The Alliance gave me strength. They awakened my psychic power. I'm no longer weak. Jungle roared over him. Enough talk. Time for you all to die. Chapter 4-3. Jungle's Assault. Sabrina cracked a smile at his statement. Ace stepped forward, sword drawn, ready to confront the threat. He pointed his blade at Jungle. Is this one of the ugly monsters you saw, Mystic Elder? Sue raised her staff. a glowing purple orb materializing at its tip. Jungle's eyes flared, reflecting the same color. "What's going on?" Jason asked, watching in confusion. Suddenly, Jungle's surroundings shifted. The village vanished, swallowed by fire and molten lava. The mystic samurai appeared before him, sword poised. Heat scorched his feet, but Jungle sneered at the illusion. Sue and the others watched in disbelief. Jungle closed his eyes and began concentrating, startling everyone. Once open, his purple pupils snapped back to jet black, and he lunged at the samurai. His clawed hand closed around a throat, only it wasn't the samurai. It was Sue, gasping and struggling in his grip, staff trembling as she tried to break free. The illusion shattered. "How did you?" she choked, fighting for breath. "That trick didn't work the first time your old friend tried it," Jungle snarled. Sabrina darted forward, sword raised high. Jungle hurled Sue aside and barely dodged the slash. Jason seized the distraction, shooting into the sky and flying deeper into the village. "He can fly now?" Ace shouted, stunned. Robert immediately gave chase, leaving Ace and Barry to stand with Sabrina against Jungle. "You're pretty quick human," Jungle sneered. "I'll give you that." He slashed with his claws. Sabrina twisted away at the last instant. Ace and Barry leapt in together, blades flashing. Jungle caught both weapons in his bare hands and wrenched them free. Grabbing them by the throats, he smashed their heads together before tossing them aside like rag dolls. With a vicious kick, he sent Barry crashing through a nearby hut, reducing it to rubble. Ace tried to counter with a flip kick, but Jungle drove an elbow into his stomach and hurled him into the same demolished hut. Both warriors lay unconscious in the debris. The Mystic Elder rushed to help Sue. Sabrina clenched her fists, eyes locked on Jungle. "He's fast," she muttered. A circular aura flared around Jungle, the same purple as his skin. His body froze, trembling as raw energy surged through him. A monstrous roar split the air. The ground quaked, and Sabrina and the others were thrown back by the force. When the light finally died, a nightmare loomed in its place. Jungle stood reborn, towering over the battlefield in a monstrous new form. The horn disappeared. His hands ended in jagged claws, dripping menace. Long, tangled purple hair cloaked his body, wild and feral. His face had twisted into a bat-like horror, fangs jutting past his lips. Eyes glowed a pure, merciless. White, soulless, unblinking. "Finally," he rasped, his voice guttural, broken into something inhuman. "I've been waiting for an excuse to unleash this form. Not that I need it to crush the likes of you." His chest heaved as power rippled through him, the ground trembling beneath his stance. "Now witness!" Jungle roared, every word reverberating with fury and madness. "I am Jungle of the Alliance of Darkness." Sue trembled. The Mystic Elder's voice was barely a whisper. "What power?" Jungle crouched into a three-point stance, claws digging into the earth. Sabrina shoved Sue and the Elder aside, bracing herself. Jungle tore forward like a raging beast. "Watch out!" Clayton's staff shot forward, striking Sabrina's side and shoving her clear before snapping back to size. Jungle thundered past like a runaway train, demolishing another hut with his momentum. Clayton rushed to Sabrina and helped her up. "Thanks. I was about to try something, but he was too fast," she said breathlessly. He prepared to charge again, but before he could move, a massive purple wave exploded across the battlefield. Sabrina turned. The Mystic Elder's staff and eyes glowed the same radiant hue. Jungle froze, his face twisting in shock. The elder's form shimmered and transformed. The mystic samurai warrior now stood in his place, towering with an aura of power. Though Jungle was the target of the hallucination, Sabrina, Sue, and the others saw the samurai as well. "Not this tired trick again," Jungle muttered, his voice laced with contempt. With a snarl, he lunged headlong at the elder. The samurai met him with calm precision, catching a part of his head in one hand. He spun Jungle with impossible strength before hurling him clear of the village. Sabrina and the others stared in amazement. "How is he doing this?" Sue murmured, stunned. Jungle recovered midair, wings bursting from his back. He broke the sound barrier, diving at the samurai with destructive force. As he plummeted, the wings dissolved back into his flesh. He struck the ground with a thunderous impact, but the samurai had already rolled aside, leaving a crater where he had stood. Chapter 4-4. Completed the set. Meanwhile, Jason used his psychic powers to probe the village. His vision tunneled past the huts, through stone and earth, until he found it. The faint pulse of energy hid deep within an old well on the far side of the mystic village of illusions. "Bingo," he muttered, reaching down into the darkness. His hand emerged, clutching the stone of the northern hemisphere. Jagged and raw, its surface shimmered with interwoven bands of brown and black crystal that seemed to drink in the dim light around it. The stone pulsed faintly in his palm, steady and alive, as if it had been waiting for him. Far away, hidden deep within Draken's lair, its twin rested on a black pedestal. The stone of the southern hemisphere gleamed with a golden brilliance, its smooth edges catching the light like a beacon. It radiated warmth, the opposite of its shadowy counterpart. Yet together, their resonance hummed like a force waiting to be unleashed. Robert had followed him in silence, his bow-shaped gun leveled at Jason's chest. "I don't remember you ever being this strong. Is this the Alliance's doing?" Robert asked firmly. "I could only access a fraction of my power before 5%, at best. Draken unlocked the rest," Jason replied coldly. His grip tightened on the stone. "Now, tell me what you want." "Jess," Robert began, but the words stuck in his throat. "You can stop calling me that," Jason snapped, his eyes flashing with fury. "Jason is dead. The Alliance gave me a new name. The Shadow." "The Shadow, huh?" Robert's voice was heavy with regret. "I'll only say this once," Jason declared. "Leave now. Even though you were my best friend, I will not hesitate to kill you." "Were?" Robert's tone cracked with sadness. A battered ace staggers onto the scene, sword drawn but his stance unsteady. "Don't waste your breath trying to reason with him," he says grimly. His grief has already eaten him alive. Jason's aura flares, black energy whipping around him like wildfire in a storm. His voice cracks with fury and heartbreak. "You think I don't know what I've become?" he shouts. "You weren't there, Ace." He steps forward, the air warping around him. "You didn't hold her when she stopped breathing. You didn't hear her last words or feel our child fade inside her." His voice breaks, rage and despair twisting every word. "I needed help, your help, and you never came. You had a whole army, and still I buried them both alone." His aura pulses violently, his eyes flickering with dark light. "So don't talk to me about right or wrong. The Alliance gave me what you never could, a reason to believe I can bring them back." Ace's chest tightened under the weight of guilt. "I have no friends," Jason growled. "All I have is this power and the promise that is owed to me." Before Ace could speak, an invisible force erupted from Jason, blasting outward like a shockwave. Robert, Ace, and the others were thrown across the ground, landing near the chaos where Sabrina and her group still battled Jungle. Jason rose into the sky, the stolen stone clutched to his chest, and shot back toward the fight. Chapter 4 to 5. Destiny awaits. Sabrina steps forward, sword drawn. Light radiates along the blade, blinding in its brilliance. Jungle, locked in combat with the Mystic Elder's samurai, never sees her coming. She drives the weapon deep into his back. The strike cripples him, and he collapses with a roar of pain. Sabrina presses harder, plunging the sword deeper into the wound. Barry leaps to her side, his own blade darkening until it glows with a black aura. With a fierce cry, he thrusts into Jungle's back alongside her. Their combined strike sends a violent surge of energy coursing through the beast. Sue and the Elder raise their staffs in unison. Purple beams of raw energy blast into Jungle's chest, burning his flesh and tearing another cry from his throat. Ace, Robert, and Clayton charge forward with weapons drawn, ready to finish it. But before they can strike, Jungle's monstrous form begins to unravel. His towering frame shrinks, claws dulling, until he stands once more in his original body, broken, bloodied, defeated. Through hazy eyes, he sees Jason standing just behind the others, the stone clutched tightly in his hand. Sabrina and the rest close in, blades gleaming, ready to end him. Shadow, they're stronger than I thought. Help me finish them. Jungle cries, desperation cracking his voice. But Jason doesn't move. His gaze is cold, unreadable. You are a disappointment, he says flatly, then turns and soars away toward the Alliance. Jungle's eyes widen in horror as he realizes he has been abandoned. Sabrina raises her sword, a grim smile tugging at her lips. So much for loyalty. She steps closer, blade leveled at his chest. Once we're done with you, the others are next. Barry stands beside her, his darkened blade still glowing. This isn't over, Jungle rasps. With a final burst of strength, massive wings rip from his back. Blood trails in the air as he launches skyward, breaking the sound barrier as he flees in the opposite direction of Alliance headquarters. The battlefield falls silent. Villagers rush to the Mystic Elder, still alive but weak, Sue at his side. Clayton and Ace sink to the ground, exhaustion etched across their faces. Robert approaches Sue, weapon in hand. What did you hide inside that well? Nothing. We never used that well, she says quickly. Jason pulled out some kind of shiny brown stone. Ace mutters, grimacing. Why would the Alliance want it so badly? The Elder's voice rasps from the ground. I did. All eyes turn to him. That stone is the relic of the Northern Hemisphere. I hid it long ago, entrusted to me by the Harpoonian. Robert frowns. What does it do? There are two stones, the Elder says, voice strained. North and south. With the Harpoonian princess to unlock their power, the Alliance will be indestructible. And where is she? Clayton asks. She lives far from here, hidden among locals in a safe place we call the Haven. The Haven? Ace mutters bitterly, one brow arched. Who comes up with these names? Sue shoots him a sharp look and grips his hand tight. This isn't a joke, Ace. Then why hide the stone here? I thought no one would ever search in a dead well. I never imagined they'd find it. It was Jason, Ace says darkly. He could barely lift a pebble the last time we saw him. Now he's hitting us with psychic waves like nothing. Sabrina's gaze hardens. And thanks to your friend, that stone is being hand-delivered to the Alliance right now. We have to stop the Alliance before they find the other stone, Sabrina declares. That's assuming they haven't already. The others nod grimly. The Elder, though weary, seems stable. Sue leans close to him. How did you become the samurai in real life? The form is an illusion, the Elder explains, voice faint but steady. It deceives the senses within its radius. The strength, however, comes from a technique passed down by the original samurai. Sabrina's right, Ace says, fire burning in his eyes. We're out of time. Let's finish this. Barry raises a hand, practical as ever. Our trucks are gone. We'll need another way to move. We're fine, Ace counters. I've got another truck on standby for situations like this. Sue shakes her head. And if that fails, the Traveler can help. Traveler? Barry narrows his eyes. Who's that, and how can he possibly help? Like us, he uses magic, Sue replies. He can cross great distances through sand rituals, ancient teleportation. Sabrina's eyes light with an idea. There's a river leading back to Ace's camp. From there, we can get another vehicle. Perfect, Sue says. The village has 2 motorboats. We can use them. They move quickly, splitting between the boats. Sabrina, Robert, and Sue climb into one. Ace, Barry, and Clayton take the other. Engines roar, and the boats speed across towering waves. Barry turns pale, clutching the side as the craft skims the water. Sabrina's boat strikes a wave hard, sending her tumbling into Robert's lap. For an instant, their eyes meet. He smiles. She pulls away sharply, forcing distance. She cannot afford to let her guard down. Not with feelings, not with anyone. Chapter 4 to 6. The City of Smoke. Sabrina and the others reach the shore, Ace's camp just beyond the trees. Ace hops out of the boat first. Now that we're back, we can borrow one of my rides to finish the journey, he says. Sounds good to me, Sabrina replies, and they all follow him toward camp. Ace leads them to a warehouse-sized military tent. A woman with short, curly hair and a confident stride approaches. She wears military shorts and boots, standing at 5'5", with posture sharp as steel. Her name is Aika. Look who's back. How did everything go? She asks, walking beside him as he reaches for the tent flap. It's a long story, he says. We're just passing through. I'll explain when I return. With that, he disappears inside. Aika watches him go, admiration softening her eyes. Moments later, Ace drives out in a Ford F-150 with a massive bed, parking it in front of Sabrina and the others. I call her Joy, he says with a grin, patting the hood. We've been through a lot together. Feels right to take her into the final fight. Aika leans in through the window, pressing a quick kiss to his lips. Come back to me. Ace's gaze lingers on her. Count on it. Barry glances at Robert. Passenger seat? I'm fine, riding in the back. Robert smirks. Everyone except Sabrina trades side eyes, catching the unspoken reason. Barry shrugs and climbs into the passenger seat. The rest pile into the flatbed. Ace revs the engine, fire in his voice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go kick some Alliance butt. He slams the gas and speeds off. Jason arrives at Draken's looming warship. Inside, the Alliance gathers around a round table, shrouded in shadows. You've brought the final stone. Excellent, Draken says, his voice a deep rumble. And what of Jungle? Jason places the stone beside the others, its glow faint in the darkness. The humans struck him down. I saw no reason to intervene. He's finished. Havoc barks out a harsh laugh that echoes through the chamber. Then it seems everything falls into place after all. Jason's voice is cold, edged with warning. Don't underestimate Ace and his team. Jungle may have slaughtered plenty, but when I arrived, he was bleeding at their feet. He narrows his eyes. One of them, a girl named Sabrina, wielded a sword unlike anything I've seen. It glowed with a power otherworldly. Brute Shot and Havoc exchange uneasy glances. A glowing sword, Brute Shot mutters, his tone dark. The only one who ever carried such power was Talisha. What if she... I highly doubt it, Draken interrupts coldly. Now that we have both stones, Havoc adds. All that remains is finding the one who can activate them. Draken's eyes lock on Jason. Any human capable of killing an Alliance member will be dealt with soon enough. Get the ship ready. His hands caress the stones as though they pulse with life. Ace's truck tears down a long, abandoned highway littered with rusting cars and dried bloodstains. Ahead, thick black smoke cloaks the skyline. Sabrina leans against the flatbed railing, unease gnawing at her. "I've got a bad feeling about this," Barry mutters. Ace brakes hard in front of a bridge. From beyond, monstrous roars echo. A sprawling city lies ahead, its skyscrapers drowning in smoke. "This is it," Sabrina says grimly. The city of smoke. If the Elder is right, the Alliance is at its center. Camouflage the truck, Ace orders. Joy will be our escape. From here, we move on foot. Weapons drawn, they cross the bridge. Smoke thickens the air, each step heavy with dread. Robert's bow gun trembles slightly in his grip, though he keeps it trained ahead. The stories of fallen warriors weigh on them all. Suddenly, a massive hunter bursts from an alley, its eyes locking on them. "Look at the size of that thing. Makes the biohunter look small," Barry mutters. "And it'll die just like him. Leave it to me," Sabrina says with a smirk, stepping forward. The hunter roars, shaking the ground as it charges. Sabrina darts in, blade flashing, and drives it through the creature's skull. Black blood sprays the pavement as the beast collapses. She wrenches her sword free, standing tall. Her fearless poise steals everyone's morale. "I think I can one-up you," Ace grins. "Oh, so this is a competition now?" Barry quips, "What's wrong with a little fun?" Ace shoots back. Moments later, another hunter blocks their path. Sabrina shifts into stance, but Ace raises a hand. "Nah, this one's mine." The hunter slashes with its claws, but Ace parries, dodging its relentless swipes. Tiring of the dance, he vaults high, meeting the beast at eye level. His blade plunges into its neck. The hunter crashes to the ground. "Done deal," Ace says with a grin, sheathing his sword. They press deeper into the city, reaching a park at its heart. In the clearing looms a massive alien ship, its design unlike anything they've ever seen. "What the?" Clayton whispers, awestruck. The awe shatters as dozens of hunters pour in from every direction. The group forms a tight circle, backs pressed together, weapons raised. Robert fires fast, arrows snapping from his bowgun. 5 arrows, 5 headshots, 5 hunters fall. Sabrina dances into the fray, her sword flashing as she cuts beasts down with ruthless precision. Ace and Barry hold the perimeter, blades ready. Clayton and Sue fight back to back. Clayton flips over a hunter's strike, driving his dosega stick through its chest. Sue swings her staff, knocking enemies away until one massive hunter blindsides her. She crashes into a building, rubble burying her as her staff clatters aside. The hunter lunges, jaws snapping. Sue scrambles back, kicking frantically as its fangs close in on her throat. Just as it's about to strike, a sharp crack splits the air. The beast stiffens, shudders, and collapses dead across her. Behind it stands Sabrina, Sue's staff in her hands. "Thank you, sis," Sue gasps, crawling free and clutching her chest as she gulps for breath. Chapter 4 to 7. The Boogeymen appear. Draken and the Alliance watch from the spaceship's upper-level window. Below, the park is littered with the corpses of hunters. Draken's eyes narrow. He turns, boots echoing as he stomps back into the shadows. Bruteshot leans forward, disbelief twisting his face. Shadow wasn't bluffing. They actually killed them. Let's greet our unexpected guests. On the ground, Sabrina and the others survey the carnage, weapons gripped tight as an eerie silence settles. A slow clap breaks the stillness. They spin to see Draken, Havoc, Bruteshot, and Jason standing at the ship's entrance, clapping in unison. Jason's eyes lock onto Ace's. Havoc chuckles darkly. That was impressive work. And I take it, you're the so-called boogeymen we've been hearing about? Ace shoots back. Speak of the devil, and he may appear, Draken says smoothly. You guys aren't bad for enhanced humans. Y'all made quick work of my guard dogs. Sabrina's gaze is sharp, unblinking. Her allies bristle, every muscle taut with readiness. Can't help but notice you're short a member, Ace quips. Wonder why? I have you all to thank for that, Draken says, his voice carrying across the park. These are the humans you warned us about? Jason's silent nod is answer enough. Draken's eyes slide to Sabrina. And you must be her. Sabrina lifts her chin but says nothing. Bruteshot steps forward, the gangway groaning under his massive frame. His arm cannons lock onto the group. This is as far as you go. Ace leans toward Robert. Guess somebody took right to bear arms a little too literally. Barry's knuckles whiten around his blade. Let's skip the formalities and get down to business. He tilts his chin at Bruteshot. Tell your dog to watch his bite. The standoff breaks in an instant. Bruteshot fires a blazing beam from his left cannon. Barry swings, his sword splitting the blast in two. A black, fiery aura erupts from the blade, shredding the attack into sparks. The Alliance freezes in shock. Even Barry stares at his own weapon, stunned. Not bad for a human. Bruteshot rumbles. Barry straightens, resolve burning in his eyes. Everyone stay out of this. He's mine. Rain begins to fall as the two square off. Show me what you've got, Bruteshot sneers. Cannons humming. Gladly, Barry roars, charging forward. Blasts light up the park as Barry dodges and closes the distance, slamming his blade against Bruteshot's armored grip. Sparks fly as the giant lifts Barry high, then hurls him into the husk of a bus. Barry falls to the ground before picking himself back up. Bruteshot smirks. You are nothing. Barry wipes blood from his lip, grinning. You haven't seen anything yet. The rain stops abruptly. Thunder silences. The sky above warps. For a split second, time itself seems to fracture. Barry's mind is pulled into a luminous realm. A realm where frequencies, echoes, eternity compressed into a heartbeat. Then reality snaps back. His sword blazes, the steel no longer metal, but transmuted into raw, dark energy. Black power spirals around the blade in a violent orbit, never touching it yet pulled as if by gravity. The ground quakes beneath their feet. This energy it feels like pure erosion. Barry mutters, struggling to comprehend what's happening. That's power. It's like a dark fire. Clayton gasps, eyes wide. It's swirling all around the sword, and the black symbol at its center is glowing brighter than ever. Something tells me we'd better brace ourselves, Sabrina says grimly, steadying herself against the trembling ground. Barry roars, his voice echoing like thunder. Take this. He slashes the blade toward Bruteshot. The swirling power collides, detonating in a deafening explosion that floods the park with blinding dark fire. A tornado of flames surges forward. Bruteshot unleashes a blazing counterblast, but it only feeds the inferno, its hue shifting until the flames burn a searing, natural red. The torrent barrels down on him. With a defiant roar, he makes a final stand, launching himself into the air and firing a blazing energy beam. The attack disintegrates on contact, consumed instantly by the raging inferno. Flames engulf his massive frame, driving him back like a rag doll. He crashes through a ruined building, the impact triggering a violent explosion that rocks the street. When the smoke clears, Bruteshot still stands, arms crossed in an X, armor slightly charred but intact. Sue's eyes widen. He survived that? What is he made of? Draken's lips curl. The center of those swords. Stone fragments. Interesting. Barry's chest heaves, the dark hue of his blade fading until it looks ordinary again. All that, and he's still standing? This won't be easy. Bruteshot laughs, stepping forward. Not bad for a rookie trick. Let's see you try it again. Barry raises his blade defiantly. Here goes nothing. He swings. Nothing happens. Bruteshot grins. Just as I thought, you can't do it again. Bruteshot, Draken says, turning toward the ship. Finish them. We have more pressing matters. Ace lunges forward. And just where do you think you're? Draken ignores him, retreating into the ship with Jason and Havoc. The doors seal shut. Engines rumble. No, we can't let them get away, Sue cries. Bruteshot's eyes blaze red. Don't worry about them. Your fight ends here with me. The ship's engines roar, gale force winds sweeping across the park. The others shield their eyes. Sabrina, go, Barry shouts. Stop, Draken. I'll deal with this metal freak. Ace leaps, only to be blasted from the sky, crashing into rubble. Bruteshot's voice booms. I don't think I made myself clear enough. You all die today. The spaceship rises into the storm clouds and vanishes, leaving Bruteshot alone with them. Sabrina steadies her sword. And they got away. Looks like we are going to have to beat their location out of you. Bruteshot grins, stepping closer. By all means, try. That concludes Chapter 4 of this 10-chapter journey. But the story is only just beginning. To continue, head over to Amazon and pick up the novel Sabrina, The Fall of an Alliance. The adventure resumes in Chapter 5, where the battle against Bruteshot reaches its breaking point. Draken now holds both stones. If he ascends to godhood, the fate of the entire universe will be rewritten. You won't want to miss what happens next. Thank you for listening.